So where are we today, just days away from the election, with voters looking for some kind of clarity? Nick Bontis joins us live now from McMaster's DeGroote School of Business. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Connie.
Well, let's start with the unemployment numbers. How much of a good sign, if there is a good sign here, is this?
Well, any good news is good news in my opinion, but the reality of the situation is those employment numbers came out before the meltdown really got crazy. So they were around mid to third week of September, and things started to collapse soon after that. If we compare last year's numbers with this year's numbers, we have actually 81,000 less new jobs in the first 9 months of 2008 compared to 2007. So it was just a little bit of a blip. But there are two pieces of good news in the employment numbers. One is there were 45,000 new jobs for students in September, and wages went up 4.6% compared to last year. So we can find some silver lining in there.
All right, let's hang on to that positive attitude. Let's talk about these rumors of bankruptcy in the auto industry and the domino effect that could have in our region alone.
Well, you know what? If this actually happens, Ontario is in deep, deep trouble. I mean, we have thousands of people in this province that work in the auto sector. If you look at General Motors stock price, it is collapsing through the floor. The shares are now as low as they used to be in the 1950s. That's 50 years ago. It's crazy. I mean, I thought a 158-year-old company called Lehman Brothers would never collapse, and look what happened to them just a few weeks ago. So anything can happen. I bet you on the election night on Tuesday, whoever wins and becomes our new prime minister, they better address this issue of how they're going to support the manufacturing sector in Ontario.
All right, let's talk about that after the Prime Minister assures the country that no new policy is needed to deal with the global economic crisis. Finance Minister Flaherty announcing a multi-billion-dollar bailout, a bit of a flip-flop politically, but how will markets react to this?
Well, the typical political move. Ultimately, this news is better to have earlier rather than later. You know, we're still not out of the woods yet in terms of the economic meltdown in the U.S. and globally. You saw the U.S. had their bailout, England had their bailout, France is now talking about their bailout, so it was only natural for Canada to also have something. If you look at the $26 billion bailout deal, though, there's about 25 million adults in Canada, so this equates to about $1,000 for every adult in Canada. And frankly, $1,000 is an okay investment to make sure our economy doesn't collapse.
All right, Nick, just in the few seconds we have remaining, will we have better news to talk about after the markets reopen on Tuesday?
Well, I hope that people take a break from Canadian Thanksgiving, you know, get a little bit of turkey inside of them and feel energetic. Of course, the election will have a lot to do with what's going to happen with the markets, not on Tuesday, but with the results on Wednesday.
Well, you have a happy Thanksgiving, and let's hang on to those happy thoughts.
All right, you too.
Thanks, Nick.